Hello, everyone. It is week 6 or module 6 in English 115 that we're going over at this time. So I do want you to start with the task list. I want to point out a couple of things for this module. First, one of the items that you're going to be needing to do is review your test that you took last module. So in module 5, you took the test on Moodle, on Moodle called Making Brain Connections. Make sure you go over each question. Make sure you compare the incorrect answers you had with the correct answers that were provided for you. And then I want you to review all the items in the resource section and pay special attention to the instructional video. Now, I have a couple of different resources for you. So the first one in resources is a simple class lecture. And what this was taken from last semester. And when we hit this particular area, I did class lecture on it because we were still face-to-face at that point. So I had recorded it. I've provided it here. Keep in mind, this was done last semester. However, all of the information is relevant, and it's basically me talking through this with you. It is a very long video. I believe it's like 50 minutes, but you can watch it in chunks or parts, however you want to do that. Or if you just need certain parts, you can certainly fast forward till I start talking about specifics that you need. The other resource is Test Analysis Essay Resource, and this is really like a booklet. So when you click into this one, what I've done is I've broken it out by parts. So if you see over here the table of contents, this is everything that's in the book. So these are chapters, for a better word, I guess, for lack of a better word. So the first one is just me with a video explaining how to use the grid worksheet. So you need to complete the grid worksheet first. And remember, this is going to be completed on the test you completed in module 5, Making Brain Connections. That's why you have to review that, go back in there, look at your answers, that kind of thing, and then watch the video and complete the grid worksheet. The second chapter is the instructional video on just the essay. So what you're going to be doing is a test analysis essay draft this week. You're putting together a draft. And the two parts of it are, of course, the grid worksheet, but the essay itself. What are you going to write? Where are you going to write it? What do you got to have in each section? I talk you through those directions right here. And then the third chapter is the template. In other words, the actual grid worksheet. So when you click on this, it will download. You can see I downloaded to the bottom left corner. And when you open it, let me pull this over so you can see this is the actual worksheet. And this is an interactive one. So you just enable editing. And then based on a video that that I showed you in chapter 1, this is the worksheet. So something helpful might be download the worksheet first, have it in front of you, and then follow along with the video if that helps. And then the next one, number 4, chapter 4, is the essay instruction document. So again, that video where I'm talking you through all the instructions, it is right here in written form. These are the instructions for what you need to do for the test exam analysis essay. So you can see you're going to have different sections. I tell you what you need in each section. And then, of course, the writing requirements. And then chapter 5 is a resource video, how to set your paper up in MLA format. So one of the requirements is I want you to be using MLA document design. And although you may know MLA document design, you might not know how to get certain settings in your computer to do it that way. So this video shows you. It's just a YouTube video made by someone, but I think you'll find it helpful. The other part of that is make sure you are using Microsoft Word. So when you do Google Docs or you do PDFs of things, the formatting doesn't always come out the right way, or it won't show everything. So it is a requirement. Microsoft Word is a requirement of this course. So this is a really good example of when you need that. And remember, it is free to you. You can download the version. And if you have trouble with that, make sure you contact the IT department and they will walk you through it, or you can even take your laptop over there and they will do it with you or for you. Now, the next chapter, chapter 6, is a thesis statement information page. One of the requirements of this essay is you need a thesis. So if you don't know what a thesis statement is, this explains it and gives you some details about a thesis statement. So do be aware, you will be required to provide a thesis statement in the introduction of your essay. And then chapter 7, these are self-editing strategies. These are things to kind of help you take a look over, troubleshoot, look for proofreading, those kinds of things. And here are suggestions, but then also I give you a couple links to some items so you can see Grammarly. I also tell you, make sure you check it against form and style checklist, which means these are kind of like, hey, do you have this on your essay? I also link you to some spell check items. So these are all informational items for you to help you to get your writing draft at the level that you want it to be. And then, of course, the last chapter is the grading rubric. So this is a grading rubric that will be used when I grade it. Now, I know this is a lot of information, so don't feel like you have to do it all in one sitting. But ultimately, what you need to do this week by the due date is the test analysis draft. And so when you click into this, you see I have provided you with the grid worksheet here as well. So just click on that, it'll download it, you can open it. Also the instruction document, okay, so they're easy, and the grading rubric. So your goal this week is to upload the test analysis essay draft. Now, again, resources are all in one spot. I also gave you a class lecture video if you want it. But in the resources, do note they are different chapters and they focus on different things. So don't feel like you have to watch them all in one shot. You know, do a little bit at a time. And I guess I would recommend that you start with the instruction document and just look over, okay, this is all of what you're going to have in your essay. So if you take a look, okay, I have to have an introduction. I'm going to have a section 1 that talks about previewing information process, another section that talks about the study process, another section that talks about test taking process, and then I have to have a conclusion. So those are the sections of the essay you're going to have to do. You do not need to use headers for this, I'm sorry, headings. And but you do need to have evidence of each of these. Approximately, they should each be a good size paragraph. Now, start there so you know, okay, this is what I'm going for, this is what I have to have in my essay. Then go back and take a look at some things. So whether it be the instruction video, so you have the instructions, you read them, downloaded. Okay, now I'm going to talk you through those things. And break it out like that. Don't just sit and watch them straight through. I think you'll find it much more beneficial if you break it out and go piece by piece. So the only activity assignment this week is the test analysis draft. You need to upload it in Microsoft Word. I will be pretty transparent with you as a general rule. I'm an easy grader on the draft. The draft purpose is for you to get feedback from me on it to help you improve before you submit for final grading on the published version. And so, you know, as long as you show me you have every section and you're doing it in MLA document design, you'll probably get full credit, even if it's not fully done, even if it's not, if you have a lot of errors or mistakes. Don't worry about that. Certainly do the best that you can, but the purpose of the draft is for me to give you feedback to make it better. Now, that being said, you do need to show evidence of a draft. You can't just give me a paragraph and call it a draft. So, but I do want to kind of ease your mind that the purpose of a draft, this is kind of your first round. And so I want to give you feedback and guidance to help you improve so that when you submit the final draft for next week, which is worth quite a few points, it's a heavily pointed item, heavily weighted, you will be able to score the way you want to score. So that's it for this week. I hope you found the information helpful. And I just want to wish you all happy writing, and be sure to reach out to me with any questions or concerns.